thanks for joining us on this Monday edition of Fox 10 Talks. I'm Marc Martinez.
Steve Nielsen. I'm not Ellen.
No, Ellen is off on vacation.
Oh, that sounds nice.
I know.
Did she take a plane somewhere?
No, I don't know if they flew or not, but they're going to some theme parks out in Southern California.
Okay, all
Taking
right.
the kid out there and having a great...
When was your last vacation?
Last month I went to visit my niece for her, I guess it's my grandnephew. He turned 1. So I went out there. That was great. Santa Barbara. It was beautiful.
Any issues flying or going out there?
I had no
at all?
issues at all. No, it was smooth sailing. And of course, different story now as we've been talking about airports having a lot of delays because of the, well, first of all, here for us with weather, but across the country because of the shutdown, the government shutdown, and a lot of air traffic controllers not coming into work.
No. You know, so I just went on vacation a week and a half ago. The day we flew was day 1 of the government shutdown. So we were, what's going on? Hey, Corey.
We're on TV.
Yeah,
We're on
Corey.
TV.
Well, what's going on?
Guys,
Hey,
A
this
form
is
of
the
TV.
hallmark of my career. Unintended intrusions. I thought you guys were just chatting about a government shutdown, just casually.
Yeah.
It's what we do, you know?
Even when we're not on the air, we have those
Yes,
talks.
that's what I thought. Well, I'll join you in a couple of minutes.
All right,
Sounds
Corey.
good. Thanks, Corey.
And we have a lot of weather to talk about, too.
That was great. Yeah, so we're flying out the first day of the
Hold on,
government.
sorry.
Yeah,
It's like,
we have
here
to
comes
address,
Uncle Corey. Just wandering around.
And he didn't even walk in behind, just in front, picking things up.
That's why we love
good
it here on
stuff.
Fox 10 Talks, right?
We do, and this is what the format allows.
Yeah,
The absurd insanity of all of our personalities.
So you were talking about the airport. You were there like the day after.
It was the first day of the government shutdown. We had no idea what the impact would be or not. Thankfully, we've been through a few government shutdowns at this point. I remember this used to be an episode of The West Wing of like what would happen in a government. Now we'd like seem like every
3
few
to 6
months.
months. It feels like.
But we flew no problem. Flew to North Carolina, issue free, but we got there early because we were worried.
Well, and now here we are on day 12. So let's check in with Olivianna Calmes. She's live for us at Chicago Midway International Airport. Olivianna, how's it looking out there? What kind of impacts are you seeing the travelers experiencing from the shutdown?
Yeah, people have had some minor delays and cancellations today. We're still seeing numbers across the U.S. Over 900 cancellations today and over 5,000 delays nationwide. And some of this from last week all the way into this week is because of this air traffic control issue. Now, some of this is also because of a powerful storm, a nor'easter storm. According to the FAA's command center, today's flight plan already included, as of this morning, ground delays from Boston, New York to Phoenix and San Francisco. And that's before factoring in the staff shortages or the government shutdown, which so far haven't been reported today. But this has been happening every day across the country for the past week, creating a headache for travelers. I spoke to some of those. But this morning, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said this is frustrating, especially when some air traffic controllers are calling out sick.
We're not overstaffed. We can't lose, 100 controllers in a day. Otherwise, it has significant impact. When you travel, though, we will slow you down. We will cancel flights. We want to make sure that when you travel safely. And so, if we don't have the controllers necessary to keep you safe,
and is she fine with Q&A?
Traffic control, obviously one of the most stressful jobs in the world, right? So, doing a job without getting paid is rough. And again, glad they showed them to do their job today.
My flight today, I definitely thought about is it going to be enough people? Is it going to be safe? But overall, there was like a small delay when I was flying in. I'm here safe. I'm back safe. So it's good. I had to travel for work, so.
Now, there was a message on the National Air Traffic Controllers Association website geared toward controllers, asking them, it said, quote, "We cannot stress enough that it's essential to avoid any action that could reflect poorly on you, our union, or our professions. We urge you to stand in solidarity with your brothers and sisters by continuing to exhibit the same unwavering professionalism that the aviation community and the American people deserve." Now, Sean Duffy, that interview earlier, he also went on to say to air traffic controllers, please, if you can, come to work. And he emphasized again that they will be paid back pay, because right now they're coming in without pay. That will come once this government shutdown gets resolved. Guys.
Now, Olivianna, it seems like it's a national pastime for people to get upset at the airport. I recently got upset. I have young kids, and they decided to put us all into middle seats in different parts of the plane. Yeah. Don't worry, we got it fixed. Everything worked out okay. But we just love to get upset at the airport. It's something we love to do. It's high stress, the timing, all of that. Are you seeing people being understanding of those delays, or are you seeing some of those kind of, tempers flare a little bit out there?
Yeah, traveling is just stressful. It's almost like you walk into an airport and it's this bubble of stress, really. But, people have heard, bring your patients to the airport, go early, all those things. That man that we heard from that was a traveler, he said, TSA people already don't like them. So they're having to come into work, and it's a tough job to begin with. But I think people are being as patient as they can. I've heard from people that came early to get in line with TSA. I think it's pretty standard as far as how people are feeling. But of course, you've got your run-of-the-mill people running around with like a chicken with its head cut off here at the airport.
Olivianna, also, a lot of the people you talk to out there seem understanding of why this is happening, aside from whether the government shutdown part. It is a tough ask to have people come into work, these air traffic controllers, and not get paid and not know how long this shutdown's going to go on. How long are we going to go without a paycheck? That's the unknown question. So I wonder, it seems like they do have some sympathy for those who are choosing not to come into work as well.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, they were like, if I had to go to a job and not get compensated, bills come at the same time every month. So that situation's tough. I've heard of air traffic controllers having to take up, and just government workers in general right now, having to take up other side gigs like Ubering, to make ends meet before they get that back pay. But yeah, the travelers I spoke with said they're traveling for work, which is required of them, but they're getting paid for it. So it's a tough situation.
I always like on these Fox 10 talk shows to take the opportunity to suck up to our bosses if they're watching. So I'll say, if they didn't pay us, we'd still show up for work, right? Right, guys? Come on.
That's what Steve Nielsen just said.
Yeah. I will say this. On these days where you have a lot of delays and cancellations, there is, we've all been covering these stories like you are right now, Olivianna. Do you always see the huddled masses on the chairs, asleep, head on the sweatshirt on the arm of the chair, just that level of disgust of where are we, what's the plan?
Yeah.
What's the plan? Are you seeing any of those huddled masses in the corner?
Thankfully, this airport hasn't gotten hit with a lot of those big cancellations.
Good.
So thankfully, it's been a little bit smoother on this end, which is definitely encouraging to see overall.
All right, Olivianna Calmes joining us live from Chicago Midway. We really appreciate that and giving us a look at what's going on there. And speaking of huddled masses over in the corner, Cory McCloskey is sitting over there. Why don't we bring Cory in to talk about the weather situation?
My first question to Cory is going to be is how he feels being referred to as a huddled mass.
Well,
we gotta get your mic set up.
I guess you knew I was coming.
Yeah.
I'm like Jerry Lee Lewis over here. I just hold my own desk microphone.
What a mess. Look at this. We got a mess.
No, it's fine.
For you.
So this is commerce. This shows that you're busy.
Yeah. That's right.
Do I need this thing?
Up to you. Your hair looks too good. Don't put it on. You don't want it.
See, when I say that, Steve, I sound immodest. But when you say it,
just
sounds
remember,
just right.
Mark called you a huddled mass, and I said you have great hair.
He called me Uncle Cory.
That's called a segue in the business.
Yeah, I get it. Where's my camera? That's all I need to know. Right here?
Yes.
Every camera's your camera, Cory.
I'd like one of those dings on my tooth, if that's possible.
Yeah, I'm working on
that's
that.
in
That's
post.
not in the budget. 2026.
Okay.
We're working on that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about weather.
Yeah.
We've got 322 flights delayed right now at Sky Harbor Airport. Some of that may be air traffic control related or going to airports that have problems, but a lot of that's weather.
Yes, they
and
had
it's
a ground
been crazy
stop
out there
earlier, and golly, when I drove in, I don't know, maybe 1 o'clock or so, it was raining so hard. It was like video you would see out of a rainforest. I thought monkeys were going to come out of the bushes. It was so intense. The traffic on the freeway was down to a crawl, so not surprising that Sky Harbor was quiet. But I do want to take us on a little bit of a radar tour. Things have quieted down nicely, as you see across the valley. We've got sunny skies making their return. But this is all courtesy of our friend Raymond. You know, last week, at the end of the week, we were talking about this second tropical storm, which was moving on through. That was Raymond, and he didn't seem like much at the time, but it has continued to pump moisture up into the southwest, and so that's where we stand now. Now, I've got a...
Will your radar work that far away? Or your control?
Well, that's... I was told it would.
Yeah. He's got a little button. Tell us about the button that you guys use.
Well, you probably have a garage door opener. Maybe you've got an overhead door, maybe a Chamberlain.
Yeah.
They're both tops in their field.
Yeah.
You know, KG veterans.
Yeah.
They usually use a computer.
Oh.
They?
Crystal and Erica,
Oh.
when they come to say of a weather computer.
Yeah. Now, Dave is not mic'd up. What we hear is sort of a distant, yes, like Charlie.
You know, if anyone remembers the Tonight Show, it's like Freddie DeCordova off stage there.
Right. Well, now he's leaving the studio, so I'm not sure what his effort will be.
I think he's going to go push a button.
Oh, he's going to push a button. He's going to have to sit there.
They always say you can really tell when there's a big news story going on by that sort of the energy and the feel of the newsroom.
Mm-hmm.
Fox 10 Talks is living up to that right now.
We are.
We have chaos going on.
You want to see something? Watch this.
Oh, boy. That's how you know it's a weather day.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
This is... I don't like
you can also listen to
show off or anything. Don't make me loosen my time.
We've got radar up.
Okay.
There we go.
This is what we're talking about. Now, if producer Dave can stay over there, I'll just sort of talk him through this. I'm going to talk about this scene for the moment. You can see that most of this action has started to push its way north of the valley. However, there are still plenty of folks in line to get some of this very, very heavy rainfall. As we come in a little closer, I want to show you Black Canyon City. These are the tributaries that feed the Agua Fria River that runs right through Black Canyon City. And at the moment, not much heavy rainfall nearby. However, as we move on to the next slide, look how intense the rain has been as it's come over those areas. And, you know, there's no place for it to go. It's just hard rock up there. There's really no areas where it can soak in. Now, the good news is once it gets past Black Canyon City, it just rushes into Lake Pleasant, so no real troubles there. Now, you can see those several pockets of heavy rainfall. If you live in Crown King or Bumblebee, you've got heavy weather coming your way. Also, on up the way between Spring Valley and Prescott Valley, those storms continue their northeasterly trek also. So let's move this.
Yeah, we got a break coming up at 12:50, and then we'll come right back after that. So
what happens during the break? Do you guys have
a dance party?
Right.
Yeah.
So is this going to be a live read where you're pushing Pabst or
no, like the old
some kind of product?
old days.
Oh, yeah, it's a blue ribbon kind of
product
break.
placement.
Yeah.
No, we're working on it.
I wish that were true.
All right, we'll be right back after this with more Cory. to Fox 10 Talks. As promised, Cory is still here with a lot of weather to talk about.
I didn't realize this much fun happened over here.
Oh, yeah.
It's great hanging
It's
out
a great
with you
secret.
guys.
It's a blast having you here.
Really is.
Hey,
yeah.
with 3 sacks of fan mail out.
Well, look,
That's
we've
true.
got comments in here. People are saying, Cory, exclamation point. They're happy to have you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Arbor House says it's not raining where they are. That's because they're in New York.
Right. Clear for them.
So,
But we've got-
thanks for the update, Arbor
We've
House.
got a lot here.
Yeah. Well, we've got, sadly, a couple of spots here that are always troublesome.
Yep.
One is the poor town of Globe. We're so sorry to hear all of the trouble they've had over there. Here's what things look like a little bit closer. We've got a couple of flash flood warnings closer to the valley, one in the South Valley, one up north. This one would be covering the area around McCormick Ranch and then up toward Gainey Ranch, up toward Taliesin West, if you're familiar with that part of the valley. As we swing things farther to the north, we can just kind of follow this rain as it moves northward, because we're talking about showers moving at a rate of about 35 to 45 miles an hour. So we pass up past Lake Montezuma and eventually up toward I-40. And if you live up that way, say around Loop or anywhere east of Flagstaff, you've got weather on your way also. So here's a look at how things are going around Payson and Pine Strawberry. If you live in Pine or Strawberry, you've got a pretty decent shower just to the south of you. That's probably going to be upon you here in about 20 minutes. So now we swing things over to Globe, as I said, and the Pinal. Oh, it looks like we missed it. But anyway, the Pinal Creek runs right through the heart of that town. And I'm sure when they built Globe, they thought, perfect, we're right near this water source. And but boy, it is so rough. You've probably seen the video over there. But they remain under a flash flood warning until 4:45. Broad Street in Globe is closed right now. So anyway, here's a look at our future cast over the next couple of hours. We're going to get a bit of a break here, and that is good news. So this hopefully will be the last of it for today.
Well, it looks like half the state's got a flood watch, basically.
We can swing
at this
things
point.
back here, guys. That's what all this waving is about.
Yeah, we were talking about the folks out in Globe. That is a serious situation with. They can't even clean up from the last one, really.
I'm sure it must feel like, how can this possibly be happening again?
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's a small town, and of course there are tributaries that feed Pinal Creek there, but you wouldn't think that so many, 3 weekends sort of in a row that they've been pummeled by water running over the same real estate. So anyway,
it's the length of it too. It's not this like monsoon that we think of where it's 20 minutes of, oh boy. I mean, it's just all day soakers, and it's a town built on a hill. So it's just flowing right on down. I mean,
and it's a tropical event. So as you say, there's just so much fuel for these showers. They just kind of keep.
We got some questions in the chat here. Brandon Jones asked, Cory, why do you think so many trees are downed every time we have heavy rain? Is it the hard soil, or a lot of these don't have very deep roots too? Some of these big trees, they look huge, and you see sometimes the roots aren't that deep.
Well, once everything gets soaked, then then it's easy for them to come over.
You get the wind coming through.
Wind. I pulled out 2 enormous agave bushes that had gone, or plants that had gotten out of control at my house, and you should see me. I was like, I don't mean to brag, but I was like Hercules. I lassoed them with a rope right around the root, down low, and then I put it over my shoulder, and I just walked, and I tugged them right out of the earth itself.
Where was we needed this for social media.
No, look, my satisfaction comes from a job well done. I see what you're saying. That would have been good.
It's so many of these desert plants too, the roots, they go out, they don't go down.
I had that with the mesquite tree that went over in a storm, and the root system was nothing. It just
sometimes
goes out
you can even push them back up in place.
Yeah.
And they'll stick with you.
Yeah, I did that with my ficus a few years ago. They went over.
Don't get Mark started on his ficus troubles.
It's been a ficus journey, that's for sure. Louis Gonzalez saying, will the rain clear out for a few days in the Safford area?
Yes, it will.
Yes, it will, Louis. So
that's my solemn vow to you, Mike.
Yeah.
It seems great to
triple your money back if you're not delighted.
We do need that little twinkle.
I know.
Is the humidity? So my wife and I, we love to play board games. Like that's our thing. Kids go to bed, we stay up and we play board games. Exciting life we live.
We know.
Middle-aged young kids. This is a night out. So last night we had all the windows open. great temperature, all of that. And we couldn't get the cards off of the deck because it was so sticky. They started sticking to
Tropical
each other.
Storm Raymond.
Is it going to stay like that for a few more days?
No, not too much longer.
Okay, good.
We'll just kind of dry
the humidity will
ourselves out.
And I've just been getting attacked by mosquitoes inside my house.
Oh,
You open
my
the door,
ankles
and
are a mess.
Yes, mine too.
Yeah.
Everyone I talk to is having this going on right now.
I want to be the first, not the first, but if you live in an area with a bit of maybe a butte behind you, or you live near one of the mountain areas, they're back. The yellow caterpillars. The invasion has begun. I'm telling you, do whatever you can.
Slow zoom in on Cory as he talks about the invasion.
Yes. And
Here we
we're
go.
talking about 4-inch caterpillars that will not stop. They are on a mission to get out of the mountains and into your swimming pool. So just be advised, if you have a blowtorch, and you can get them, I got one. I got one out at Home Depot. It's going to be a horrible couple of days. The water has flooded out their holes. They're up and they're out and they're moving down. They just go downhill. If you're below them, do you remember a couple of 20?
That was
21 or so. Thank you.
Yeah.
They can cover the street.
Yeah,
Cars were skidding on my street.
We did a story. We did a story on those. Yeah.
Over caterpillar guts.
You just gave the newsroom another story idea, Cory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to pitch that tomorrow.
All right. Well, Cory, we're gonna.
Steve's already on.
Yeah.
That sounds like an all-day sucker to
He
me.
needs the drone for
Can we
that
talk
too.
caterpillars tomorrow?
Yeah, get a drone going. You'll be home
I know.
by noon.
We're on to
Perfect.
you. We're gonna let Cory go so we can go do the weather.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yes, and
Thank
we've
you.
got Mike Pache is going to come in.
That's right.
I love Mike Pache.
You have to stand up, Cory,
Well,
and then Mike Pache is going to cross you here.
You guys can do
Right in front of
knuckles
the
or whatever.
We're going to
you
do
want.
this right here, right in front of the cameras.
Oh, I love it.
The switch over.
This is the beauty of Fox 10 Talks.
I feel like we're in the
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Club. I should be presenting Mike with a big check. Cardboard. Cheers, everybody.
Bye, Cory. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Cory. You're awesome.
All right, Mike, he's a tough act to follow, isn't he?
I know. This is fun.
Do you have any caterpillar-related stories, Mike?
No, but the rain was awesome this
Yeah, it
week,
was great.
wasn't it? I mean, that was something to see.
I feel like we've been spoiled with all this rain.
Yeah,
It's been nice.
I know.
My
it really
son
has.
starts flag football practices tonight. We'll see if that actually happens.
Oh,
but
yeah.
all he wanted to do yesterday was practice in the backyard with me, and I was like, no. If you step on the grass right now, you're going to
so
sink
doggy.
3 inches in.
Yeah.
You
Truly,
can't do
yeah,
it.
right.
Well, Mike, we've got you here for a few minutes. Obviously, you've been busy with covering a lot of the international stories. Let's talk about the one that is the number one right now, the Israel-Gaza peace deal, the hostages being released today, more importantly. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, seeing these reunions happening today, I mean, it was just so emotional. Seeing 20 families being reunited after 2 years of pretty much hell that they were going through, not knowing if they would ever see this moment. So historic moment today in the Middle East, and still work to be done. When we heard that only 4 of the families that were going to get the remains of their loved ones, there was only 4. There should have been about 20 others. So they're still working to get that done as well. But
That video
Great
I
direction.
saw, I'm sure you saw it as well. The father seeing his son. I mean, they're seeing many of these, but just the dad just like cannot let go.
No.
I mean, it's just, and you see that emotion and you're like, wow. I mean, just over 2 years since we've seen them.
And to think about what they must have been going through, not ever wondering if they were going to come out and see their loved ones again. There was one guy that he didn't know that his girlfriend was still alive. He thought the whole time that she was dead as well, and they were reunited today.
gosh.
I mean, think about that. You go through 2 years thinking the worst. They don't know if you're, just
How
No
many times
communication,
you
zero communication.
How many times you gave up hope? Right?
Yeah.
Like you had a moment where it was just like, I've lost them. There's just no way they're still with us.
Right.
Yeah.
And then to have a moment like this today, pure emotions. And something that I think is so interesting, I know you're piling through all the reactions all day long. That's what you're doing up there. I think is so incredible about moments like this. It does not matter what letter's next to your name. Everyone says, yay, peace.
Yes.
Then there's the next sentence of every single statement out there, which is still work to be done. But at least everyone, R, D, I, whatever it is, gets to say yay, peace today.
And on this day, you're right. I mean, there are a lot of questions about what happens next and where does this, the long term, just where this process is going to go. But today, for this moment.
For today.
It is just like everyone can be happy that this part has happened.
Yeah, it's so remarkable. And Steve, that's so right. Mark, that's right. I mean, like, it doesn't matter if you have an R or a D. At the end of the day, you're human beings, you know, and it's just, it's great to see this happen.
And nobody can put themselves in that situation. I mean, it's the worst thing you could ever imagine, you know, but if you're going through this and you've got other people who are going through it with you, I was hearing about in Tel Aviv, there's a hostage plaza, essentially, where family members, loved ones will kind of gather on a weekly basis to just be with each other because they don't know or didn't know. Know? And so this part, at least for them, is giving them closure one way or another, you know.
Yeah, true.
I think if you took betting odds just a few weeks ago on which war would have peace first between Israel and Hamas and Ukraine and Russia, I think more people would have put money on Ukraine-Russia.
Yes,
I think so.
So I think this is great this happened. And I think it puts more pressure now on Ukraine and Russia to figure this thing out.
Yeah, truly. And when you think about the war in Ukraine, it felt like so many times that they were getting close, and then it teeters, and then it goes away. And for this one, you felt like, oh, this could be years in the making, that we're never going to see peace.
Right. And even the people in Israel I was listening to today, so many of them, because the people who live there are drafted into service, military service. A lot of them are saying, we were tired of this too. Like let's find a way to end this. And again, a day that a lot of people did not think would come so, you know, at this time, but here we are.
And there's still a lot that Hamas has to do. There's still a lot that Israel has to do with, you talked about, there still needs to be done on the reuniting everyone and the remains, all of that still needs to be done. On the Israel side, making sure that all of that aid can freely flow into Gaza now. Right. That's a big issue and needs to start happening.
Yeah, that's so true. And to have that moment, though, I think where you can start those talks again, where now you don't have bullets going on each side. Now you can kind of talk it out a little bit more to kind of get unity on everything.
These things are tenuous, though. It can change tomorrow.
It can.
It can. I think everyone's in that positive stretch. But yes, it's so nice to be able to have today.
Mike, we really appreciate you joining us.
Yes, no problem.
We got to get you back here, obviously, to talk about the government shutdown. Which, I mean, you know,
is that a big story?
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of hard to keep track of everything that's going on.
Right.
That's what you guys are doing up there all day long,
Yes,
right?
it is.
So we'll join you, or have you join us again, too, whenever you can.
Great. We'll do.
We got to go be on TV.
We do.
Yeah. We got to go do the Fox 10 stuff now.
Sometimes we get in here and we kind of forget that we're actually over there, too.
Well, the way we remember is we don't wear ties in here.
That's right. Thankfully. All right.
It's tieless.
Mike, thanks for joining us.
Yes,
thank you all for joining us on Fox 10 Talks.